Well, let's go straight across to Sanjay Kumar Verma ji. Ambassador Sanjay Kumar Verma is the High Commissioner of India to Canada. Sanjay ji, namaste, Jai Hind. Thank you very, very much for your time. What's the feedback about India hosting the G20, sir?
Success of G20 and apt handling by Honorable Prime Minister and his team is highly appreciated in Ottawa and in Canada. The way in which we were able to reach the G20 Delhi Declaration was amazing. People had thought that we will not be able to reach there, but kudos to Team India, which has shown it to the world that it has all it takes to reach such a declaration.
Canada has a huge Indian diaspora. So have you received a lot of feedback from people? Are they very happy the way India has projected itself?
My WhatsApp is all full with appreciation and congratulations. And not only the Indian diaspora, my ambassadorial colleagues there, they are full of appreciation the way in which we handled various issues on the global platform. We could get all the countries to agree to a longish New Delhi Declaration. And they are in awe, actually, as what we have been able to achieve.
There was a conversation of a free trade agreement between India and Canada that seems to have been put on the back burner. Is there a reason for that?
So just to take you a bit in the history, there was a comprehensive economic partnership agreement which was initiated way back before 2010. But recently we were discussing EPTA, Early Progress Trade Agreement, which is nothing more than an early harvest scheme. We progressed very, very fast. In 13-14 months, we could do 10 rounds of negotiation. So probably it was time to consult the stakeholders more closely. And my sense is that that is why the Canadian side has called for a pause. The International Trade Minister for Canada, Her Excellency Mary Ng, she has already spoken about it.
She's been quite excited and she's quite outspoken and very approachable. But because I met her on the sidelines of the Jaipur meet and she was there and there were a lot of positive vibes. Does Canada view Bharat as a friend, a foe, or somewhere in between?
Both of us have a strategic partnership between the two of us. Like any other strategic partner, there will be issues on which we see common grounds, where we see convergence. But there will be issues where we'll need to discuss things further in order to seek narrowing of divergence.
I know you steer clear of local politics and dynamics, but is there an influence? Is there something happening there? Because Justin Trudeau was very different from how he was the last time around. So please educate us and allow us to understand what's happening there.
See, what is there in the leader's mind is very difficult to read, particularly for unholy ambassadors like.
I'm sure you know much more than what you're projecting, but he's copped quite a bit of flack in the local media. We're given to understand, Canadian media. His foreign affairs, his foreign policy and his own approach has come for a fair share of criticism from the opposition and even from the media, Canadian media, which largely is good-natured, if I may say that.
Like any other large democracy, Canada is also partisan, and therefore on various issues there could be partisan views as well. So therefore that is what the media would cover here. But as far as I understand, Canada as a country is strongly with India, and Canada as a country would continue to have a strategic partnership with India.
There was a question about secessionist elements, Khalistani elements operating and getting a free run on Canadian soil. This was put to Prime Minister Trudeau. And he said you cannot broad brush it. Actions of a few cannot be broad brushed over a community and all of Canada. But what's being done? The irritant aspect is, and I think Prime Minister Modi has also raised this, that you're not doing anything about it.
See, what Prime Minister Trudeau said has a lot of truth in that. It's a very small handful boisterous elements who would like to harm Canada in the relation at any cost. And they are the ones who are going ahead with spreading lies. They are the ones who are going ahead with so-called protests, so-called referendum. When you count their numbers in the overall population of Canada, they are hardly a drop in the ocean. And therefore, they are very, very small in number. And they have been able to do things that they are doing. But recently, when they had crossed the red lines of the Canadian law, actions had been initiated.
So you are confident that there will be further action will be taken, because again, just around the time Prime Minister Trudeau touches down, there are calls for a referendum. There are others who are issuing threats against you also, sir, saying you are a representative of PM Modi and the Ottawa consulate should shut down, the High Commissioner should go back, etc. How would you react to all this?
These are noises, and these are not happening for the first time in the history of our bilateral relations. So I'll take it with a pinch of salt. I continue with my own interactions with the government, with officials, with the provinces, with my community. And I hope to continue it the same way.
Do these elements, like you call them, boisterous and very small drop in the ocean, are they getting more traction, or are they just creating a lot of hype on social media? How would you read this, Sanjay ji?
I would say that, earlier the social media was not so much in the eye. So therefore, we were missing that element. These days, it's the world of social media, and therefore we are noticing them more. But they are frustrated. They are coming out with the kind of statements they are coming out, which are falling on the wrong side of the Canadian law, only due to the reason that they are not seeing anything going forward. So I would see it in a very different light. Today, everyone is on Twitter or now X, on Facebook platforms, on Instagram, and they are misusing these platforms for their own business. And I'm calling this activity business with responsibility, because that is from where these bunch of goons are able to make the money.
You've said it's a business dhanda hai unke liye, and they are a bunch of goons. But are you worried that they have got certain amount of political support within Canada? Foreign Minister Jaishankar also alluded about political compulsions. So,
see, I'll not like to get into the domestic politics of the country. And they have been threatening, as you know, me and other Indian diplomats here. And I must appreciate that the Canadian government has been able to secure us well. And we are not constrained in carrying out our diplomatic activities in this country.
but there was an instance when an envoy was not allowed to attend a function. They had barricaded the roads, and this happened recently. Institutions being attacked.
Yeah, it was me. I was going to attend a welcome event in Greater Vancouver area, and I was all ready to go, but all of a sudden I got a message from the security detail that situation is out of control, so please consider not attending. And soon after that, I got a call also from the organizers saying that they are looking to reschedule the event. So I went by the advice of the boss.
But वहाँ फिर then question बनता है ना sir, why was this allowed? Why did they not think about it? Why did they allow things to go out of hand? And is this a partisan behavior with Bharat and Bharatiya? Would they have allowed this with an American envoy or a Chinese envoy or envoy of any other country? I'm compelled to ask this question, sir.
Yeah, I'd say, this was an aberration and the crimes do happen. And this was taken as a crime. Investigation was initiated. People were brandishing the sword. And they also bashed up a few people. So some investigation has started. Whenever it reaches its logical conclusion, we'll know more about it.
My final question, sir. There is concern that सब कुछ बता दिया उनको, everything has been conveyed to them. They know who they are, what they are doing, why we want them to be curbed, but they don't do anything about it.
I'll just give you two examples in the recent past.
Yeah.
Rather, three examples. One was a so-called protest in front of our consulate in Toronto, and we saw more than equal in number people from the Indian community condemning them, and at the same time, there was security and police forces in the middle of the two of them, and a couple of Khalistani elements were caught on the spot and handcuffed. So that was that was very frustrating thing for the pro-Khalistani protesters who had never seen this thing happening in the past. Now let's go to number two. They were trying to run a so-called referendum in Greater Toronto area, and they were looking for a government-provided space, which, by the way, every Canadian citizen is allowed to seek, and they were disallowed. They had to go to a particular place of worship, and so that was second incident. Third incident was on the 10th of September. They wanted to do it in a school. The school denied the permission. So therefore, you can see that the awareness in the general Canadian mass is on an increase.
Are you safe, sir? My final question. Are you safe? Are you confident your interests, your safety and Bharat's interests and Bharat's safety will be protected?
I'm sure, please rest assured, I and my beloved Bharat is always safe.
Sanjay Kumar Verma ji, thank you very much for your time and for your candid demeanor and your answers. Jai Hind, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.